Look at these hands, 80 years old. They've built houses, signed contracts, shaken hands with important men. But they never did the one thing that mattered most. They never held my son and told him I loved him. My name is Robert. I'm 80 years old. My son, David, he died 3 years ago. Heart attack. He was 52. And in all those 52 years, in all those days, all those conversations, all those moments, I never once said the 3 words he needed to hear most. I love you, son. Today, I'm going to tell you why I couldn't say it, what it cost me, and why. If you have a son, a daughter, anyone you love, you need to say those words today, right now, before it's too late like it is for me, because 3 years later, I still wake up at 3 a.m. rehearsing the words I'll never get to say. I was born in 1945, post-war America. My father came back from Europe, different, quiet, hard. He had seen things that changed him. He raised me the way his father raised him, and his father before that, with a firm handshake, with discipline, with the understanding that a man, a real man, doesn't show weakness. And in my father's world, love was weakness. I remember being 7 years old. I fell off my bike, scraped my knee badly, blood everywhere. I was crying. My father stood over me and said, "Get up, stop crying. Men don't cry." I got up. I stopped crying. And I learned a lesson. Emotions are dangerous. Vulnerability is shameful. Love is something you show through actions, not words. You provide. You protect. You work hard. That's how a man loves his family. Words. Words are for women. That's what I believed for 80 years. That's the poison I drank. And then I passed the cup to my son. David was born in 1971, October 14th. 7 pounds, 9 ounces. When the nurse handed him to me, this tiny, perfect thing, I felt something crack open in my chest. Something I didn't have words for. I wanted to hold him forever. I wanted to tell him everything. How much he already meant to me. How I would die for him. How looking at his face made me understand why I was alive. But I didn't say any of that. I handed him back to my wife, Carol, and I said, "He's got my nose." Strong boy. That's what I said. Strong boy. Not "I love you," not "you're beautiful," not "you're the most important thing that's ever happened to me." Just strong boy. And from that moment on, I built a wall between us, brick by brick, silence by silence. Don't misunderstand me. I loved my son. God, I loved him. Every single day of his life, I loved him. But I showed it the only way I knew how. I worked. 70-hour weeks sometimes. I provided. He had the best schools, the best clothes. When he wanted a bike, I bought him the most expensive one in the store. When he needed braces, I paid cash. When he went to college, I covered every penny. At his high school graduation, when he walked across that stage, my chest swelled with pride. I thought my heart would burst. I wanted to run up there, grab him, and shout, "That's my boy. That's my son. I'm so damn proud of him." Instead, I shook his hand. Firm grip, man to man. And I said, "Good job. Now comes the real work." He smiled, but I saw something flicker in his eyes. Something like disappointment, hope fading. I saw it, and I still didn't say the words. When David was 12, he made the Little League All-Star team. I drove him to practice every Tuesday and Thursday, never missed one. But in the car, we listened to the radio, sports talk, weather, silence. One day, he turned the radio off. He said, "Dad, are you proud of me?" My throat tightened. Pride. I was bursting with it. I wanted to tell him he was the best thing I'd ever done. That watching him play made me happier than any promotion, any paycheck. But what came out was, "You're doing fine. Keep your eye on the ball and work on that swing." He nodded, turned the radio back on. We never talked about it again. When he was 16, he got his heart broken. First girlfriend, Sarah Miller. She broke up with him before prom. He came home, went straight to his room. I heard him crying. Every instinct in me wanted to go up there, sit on his bed, put my arm around him, say, "I know it hurts. I've been there. You're going to be okay. I love you, son." But I didn't. I stood at the bottom of the stairs, hand on the railing, frozen, because my father's voice was in my head. "Let him work it out. Don't coddle him. He needs to toughen up." So I went back to the TV, left him alone with his pain. Carol went up instead. She always did. Later that night, she came to bed and said, "He needed you tonight." I said, "He's fine. He's strong." She looked at me with this sadness, and she said, "Robert, being strong and being loved aren't the same thing." I didn't understand what she meant. Not then. When David was 24, he got his first real job, marketing position at a tech company in Austin. He called me from Texas, excited, talking fast. "Dad, I did it. I got the offer. They're paying me $65,000 to start." I could hear the pride in his voice, the hope. He wanted me to be excited with him. I said, "That's good. Make sure you negotiate for more next year and start your 401k immediately." Pause. Then, quieter, "Yeah, okay, Dad, I will." What I wanted to say was, "I'm so proud of you. You worked so hard for this. You're going to do amazing things. I love you." But those words, they got stuck. Somewhere between my heart and my throat, they just stopped. David got married when he was 28. Beautiful wedding. His bride, Jennifer, was a wonderful woman, smart, kind. She laughed at his jokes. The night before the wedding, we had the rehearsal dinner. David stood up to give a toast. He thanked Jennifer's parents for welcoming him into the family. He thanked Carol, his mother, for being my rock, my confidant, my best friend. Then he turned to me. The room got quiet. He said, "And Dad, thank you for teaching me what it means to be a provider, to work hard, to be responsible. You showed me how to be a man." Everyone clapped, but I heard what he didn't say. He thanked me for what I did, not for who I was to him. There was no warmth in his words, just respect, distant respect. And I realized, sitting there with everyone smiling at me, my son sees me as a paycheck, as a lesson in work ethic, not as someone who loves him. That night, alone in the hotel room, I almost knocked on his door. Almost. I stood there for 10 minutes, hand raised, ready to knock. I was going to tell him everything, that I loved him, that I was proud of him, that he was the best thing I'd ever done in my life. But I heard laughter inside, him and his groomsmen. I thought, he's happy. Don't ruin it with sentimental nonsense. So I went back to my room. March 17th, 2021, 6:42 a.m. My phone rang. It was Jennifer. She was screaming, sobbing. I couldn't understand her at first. Then I heard it. "David collapsed. They're doing CPR. Hospital, please." Massive heart attack. 52 years old. They tried for 47 minutes. He was gone before I got to the hospital. I walked into that room, and there he was, my son, my David, still, silent, gone. I stood there looking at him, and the words finally came. I love you. Too late. 3 words. Too late. I fell to my knees beside that bed. I held his hand, already cold, and I said everything I'd been holding back for 52 years. I'm so proud of you. You were the best son, the best man. I loved you from the second I saw you. I loved you when you hit that home run, when you graduated, when you called me from Texas. I was too scared to say it. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. I love you. I love you. I love you. I said it over and over to a body that couldn't hear me anymore. The nurse had to pull me away. At David's funeral, people stood up and shared memories. His college roommate, his co-workers, his kids, my grandchildren. His daughter, Emma, 16 years old, stood up, crying. She said, "My dad was the best dad in the world. He told me every single day that he loved me every day, even when I was being a brat. He'd hug me and say, 'I love you, Em, always.'" She wiped her tears. I never had to wonder if my dad loved me because he said it all the time. I sat there listening, and I realized David broke the cycle. He learned from my mistake. He became the father I never was. But I never told him I noticed, never told him I was proud of that. When they asked if I wanted to speak, I couldn't. My throat closed. What could I say? That I loved him but never told him? That I was proud but stayed silent? What right did I have to stand up and claim a closeness we never had? So I stayed seated, silent, like I always was. It's been 3 years. I'm 80 years old now. Carol passed away last year. Cancer. I live alone. And every single night, around 3 a.m., I wake up and I think about all the times I could have said it. Bedtime, when he was 6. "Good night, son. I love you." After his baseball games. "Great job. I love you." On the phone from Texas. "I'm proud of you. I love you." At his wedding. "I love you, son. Be happy." Any random Tuesday, any random moment. I love you. 3 words. I had 52 years, 18,980 days, over 450,000 hours. And I said those words 0 times until he was dead. You might be wondering, why? Why couldn't I just say it? I've asked myself that question 10,000 times. The answer is fear. I was afraid it would make me weak. I was afraid he'd think less of me. I was afraid of becoming soft, emotional, less of a man. I was raised to believe that love is shown, not spoken, that actions speak louder than words, that real men don't need to say it. It's understood. But here's what I know now, at 80 years old, after losing everything. Words matter. Actions are not enough. You can work 3 jobs. You can pay for college. You can show up to every game. But if you never say the words, your children will spend their whole lives wondering if you actually love them. They need to hear it out loud from your mouth. I love you. Not I'm proud of you. Not good job. Not you're doing fine. I love you. 3 words. The 3 most important words, and I was too cowardly to say them. 2 weeks before David died, he called me, Sunday morning, just to chat. We talked about the weather, his job, the grandkids, surface stuff, safe stuff. At the end of the call, there was a pause. Then he said, Okay, Dad. I'll talk to you later. Another pause. Longer. Like he was waiting for something. I said, all right. Take care. You too, Dad. Click. That was it. Our last conversation. Now I replay that pause in my head over and over. Was he waiting for me to say it? Was he giving me one last chance? I'll never know. But I know this. If I had said it just once, he would have died knowing. And I would be living without this weight crushing my chest every single day. I'm 80 years old. I can't bring my son back. I can't undo 52 years of silence. But maybe I can save you from making the same mistake. Here's what I know now. Saying I love you doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. My father was wrong. His father was wrong. The whole generation of men who swallowed their emotions and called it strength, we were all wrong. Strength isn't silence. Strength is vulnerability. Strength is looking your son in the eye and saying, I love you, even when it feels uncomfortable. Your children need to hear it. They will not just know. I thought David knew I loved him. I thought my actions showed it. But actions can be misinterpreted. Silence can feel like indifference. Words remove doubt. Words create certainty. Words create connection. I'll say it later is a lie. There is no later. There's only now. This moment. This phone call. This visit. David died at 52. Healthy guy. Exercised. Ate well. It didn't matter. He was here. Then he wasn't. You think you have time. You don't. None of us do. The words get stuck if you wait too long. I waited 52 years. By the time I wanted to say it, I didn't know how anymore. The words felt foreign, awkward, so I stayed silent. Don't wait so long that the words become impossible. If you have a father who never said he loved you, I want you to know something. He probably did love you. He just didn't know how to say it. Men of my generation, we were broken by our fathers who were broken by theirs. We were taught that love is weakness, that silence is strength. We were wrong, but we didn't know better. If your father is still alive and you need to hear it, ask him. Say, Dad, do you love me? Give him permission to break the cycle. And if you're a father or a mother or anyone who loves someone, say it today. Call your son, your daughter, your partner, whoever matters to you, and say out loud, I love you. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until it feels natural. It might never feel natural if you've been holding it back. Just say it, because one day they'll be gone, or you'll be gone. And the words you didn't say will haunt you. I know. I live in that haunting every single day. David, if somehow you can hear me, I love you. I loved you from the moment you were born. I loved you when you struck out in Little League, when you brought home straight A's, when you called me from Texas, when you got married, when you had kids. I loved you every second of your life. I was just too broken, too scared, too stupid to say it. You deserved better. You deserved a father who could say the words. I'm sorry I wasn't that father. But you broke the cycle. You told your kids every day. You gave them what I couldn't give you. I'm so proud of you for that. I love you, son. I love you. Don't be me. Don't let fear steal your voice. Don't let pride keep you silent. Don't let your children, your parents, your loved ones go through life wondering if you love them. Say it out loud today. 3 words. I love you. It takes 2 seconds, and it could mean everything. I'm 80 years old. I have money. I have a house. I have possessions. But I would trade it all, every single thing, for 5 more minutes with my son. 5 minutes to say what I should have said 52 years ago. But I can't. So I'm saying it to you instead. Tell the people you love that you love them before it's too late. Before you're 80 years old, waking up at 3 a.m., rehearsing words to a ghost. Thank you for listening to an old man's regret. If this reached you, if this broke something open in you, I need you to do something. First, subscribe. Walk with me through these lessons I learned too late. Second, share this with every father who doesn't say it, every son who needs to hear it. Third, and most important, close this video. Pick up your phone and say it. Call your dad. Call your son. Call whoever you love and say, I love you. Do it now, while you still can, before it becomes a 3 a.m. haunting. God bless you, and please say the words.